Okay, my friends, let's talk about job creators. The theory that has been passed along through Republican circles for years on end now. The primary reason that executive pay in 1989 was $59 executive to every $1 worker, which is now ballooned to $400 executive pay to $1 worker pay. If you and the guys in the plant make around $50,000, the executives make $20 million. And that's where your pension and your raises and the good benefits have gone to help the job creators. That's why we just had a huge tax cut in 2017 from the Trump administration, which gave billionaires over 250,000, a $250,000 a year on their tax cuts and ballooned up the deficit. Well, it doesn't work. If you swing the bar to the top, if you give them all the benefits and all the tax breaks, then you end up with a scenario like you had during George H. Bush's administration, where we had a worldwide recession led by the United States. The big three, our car makers going out of business. They thought they were giving tax cuts and breaks to the job creators when they were really depleting the funds out of the middle class. I mean, if you give a billionaire all the tax breaks in this country, he's still only going to buy 3 or 4 cars, but that same amount of money can supply hundreds of thousands of ordinary Americans, which will now be able to afford a car. It's kind of simple. The job creator theory is just a phony scheme to help the wealthiest Americans. Supply side economics do not work. If they did, George H. Bush and Donald Trump wouldn't have had millions of job losses. Trump and Bush lost 2.6 million jobs between the two of them. Clinton and Obama never had tax cuts. They created 34 million jobs. That's why the head of the Democratic Party should be fired. They couldn't even point out the simple facts of who was better on the economy during this past election. Businesses require the middle class to have purchasing and spending power, America, if they're going to survive. Keep helping out the rich folks, and we'll have another calamity. And you'll see on this new administration, now that they have control of the House, have control of the Senate, have the Supreme Court, and the presidency, the first thing they're going to do is have a massive tax giveaway to the wealthiest Americans. It's going to be the first thing it's probably going to be the only thing they agree on. Let's make the rich way richer. All those tax cuts, where billionaires got a $250,000 tax cut per year, but a regular guy making between $50,000 and $90,000 got less than $20 a week. Meanwhile, all of your, and I mean all of your government help goes down the tube. And when I say government help, I mean calling 911 and get a handy response. I'm talking about FEMA when there's another climate crisis in your neighborhood with a tornado or a hurricane or a flood or a fire. We don't have the same help anymore. I'm talking about parents that want latchkey. That goes away. I'm talking about just the fact that your roads don't get paved as soon as they should. Just the expense of fixing your suspension is going to outweigh the cost of this tiny, minuscule amount that you get off on your taxes. You got to look at the big picture in order to see why you have less money. It's not because directly that you got the tax cut. It's because now it costs 3 times as much to get my car registered at the BMV. There's so many factors of what the government gives back to your state and local governments, and when that depletes, you pay more. And that amount that you pay more far exceeds the little bit of money that you're getting in the tax break, because the vast majority of those tax breaks go to the wealthiest Americans. It's all sad but true. And we got to bring that to the attention of the American people. So give me a like and subscribe, my friends, and I'll be dropping more truths about these phony Republican talking points. I'm going to disable every one of them and show you that it always ends up with the same path, where rich get way richer. And that's why the American middle class